Yo, what's good? It's your boy Doc on.
And it's your boy Akeem Sincere.
And we back for another session of the Always Talking Shit Show.
You always talking shit show. Always talking shit show.
So let me do it right there. Anyway, so we're back on this good Wednesday because, you know,
Shout out to Facebook Live for
Monday
getting it right.
didn't fucking work out.
Yeah, man, it wasn't our fault. So that's good to know.
Monday was on some hoe shit.
You work with what you got, man.
Right. Let me clear this up a little bit. How's your week been, my nigga?
I'm here.
I configure these.
It's been blessed. You know, no complaints.
Can't complain type shit.
Can't complain, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with
So
that.
who's listening?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot of shit going on, though. A lot of shit to get to.
There's always a lot of shit going on. I think I'm hold on, let me fuck with this lighting real quick. Make sure everything's right. You know, we're kind of off since we were thrown off from our fucking Monday show. Sexy in here. Pause.
Man, I gotta protect my eyes from these fucking migraines. Sensitive to light still. It's all good. Need to get some new glasses.
What's up?
So I need to grab some new frames or something.
Get you some good old prescription joints or something. I feel that. All right. What the fuck is happening with y'all out there? We back in this motherfucker. Everything all good now that I adjusted
Salutations.
all the shit, you know what I'm saying? Got everything adjusted the right way. What you been on this week, man?
A lot, man. Actually. Just some behind the scenes stuff. You know, shit that we need to get on. Scheming. Which means actually I got some shit to talk to you when we get off camera. Even though we've been around each other for an hour and I ain't said shit.
That's mad
it is
funny.
what it is, man.
Right.
Shit, man. What is this, episode 34? We in the
Finally,
building.
episode 34.
34. Hey, man, we was... And then we just
Kind of plateaued for a minute, you know, but we back.
Shit got real.
We're back in the motherfucking building in full effect.
What don't break you make you stronger, man.
Right.
So, you know,
What we getting into first? Let's handle your shit first. Let's do the lighthearted last. Let's do the serious shit first this episode.
All right, we could do that. So on a serious note, it was a Republican state official. I don't have his name, and unfortunately, I'm slipping. I should definitely have his name, but it's been a hectic week. Okay, you can look this up on your own. I just find it interesting. I'm still very much infatuated with the whole white terrorist thing that happened at the Capitol. Like I said, I don't know what an insurrection really is, so I can't really go down with what they're trying to call it. I never heard that word used any other term. So when the white American terrorists attacked the Capitol building, I'm interested to see who is getting picked from the crowd. Like when they start identifying these people, it's important for me. I want to know who was involved in this. And I just came across a story the other day that what was it, a state official?
Yeah, you said state official.
State Department official. So this is like an appointed position, man. Dude got caught in the insurrection. He was in the Capitol. He was with the rioters. He was with the terrorists. I don't really know exactly what his actions were, but the fact that he was there amongst that crowd, it says a lot. And I think I said it here before that, man, we can't just write this off as a group of people that are, you know, inbred and like live off to themselves. Like this is a mainstream thing.
I'm not surprised at this shit at all, though. It's like
trust me, I'm
we've
not surprised.
always fucking known how crooked and crazy the fucking Republican Party can be, and now we just extra get to look at it. Like
at this point,
a state official took it upon himself to join in on domestic American terrorism, and
fam,
I don't understand.
Point, like, if you rocking, it's not about being conservative anymore. Like, if you
still
Republican, associate yourself, because you see that there's conservative Democrats in leadership roles. Shout out to Joe Manchin.
Well,
right?
We saw that today, today with the fucking vote of the $1.9 trillion stimulus package.
It's just one of them things.
There's a Democrat that was across the line, but it's just
like it's just, man, at this point, if you're blind to like the destruction and the divisiveness that comes out of that side of politics, I just think that you're a woeful participant and you don't have the like courage to admit it. Like,
I just don't understand how anybody could be okay knowing that one of your state officials that y'all voted and appointed into this office in this position
said, no, you all don't get anything.
You don't get anything. And then on the same tilt, one of these niggas from that side also was part of this whole fucking Capitol building siege and shit. Which, I mean, we're not calling it what it is. Some of us are, but it's domestic terrorism. You guys ran up on an official government building and tried to fuck it up. Y'all was trying to kidnap people. That's terrorism.
It was plans of murder.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, and you know what's funny?
Look what they did to the Black Panther Party when they didn't even.
Real quick before you get that deep, because that's gonna take us somewhere.
Right.
The funny thing about this is you know how the feds work because you're from Black America. There might not have been a plan to kill anybody. There might not have been a plan to do these awful things to these senators. But oh well, that's what happens when you fuck around and the feds come get you. You're always worth more than what you're supposed to be. You're always sold more dope and got more bodies than you actually did. Right. So this is just part of it. And I just can't wait, man. I can't wait for some of these cats to go to jail.
My thing is, like, they went after the Black Panther Party, arrested, assassinated, killed a party of people who was only trying to protect black people. They
left the Bloods and Crips alone, though.
Weren't even causing any type of real domestic terrorism, even though that's what they were considered as a domestic terror organization. But this group of just random individuals can do the same thing, and the FBI ain't finna investigate their families. They ain't finna investigate and start assassinating and killing some of these fucking people off because it don't go with the agenda. Because it's good when you guys do it, but it's always bad. Everything's always worse when a Democratic size or somebody does it like that.
You see, okay, 2 points to that.
The FBI
was created to be a racist organization.
Right, by Hoover.
Right. So that's one. They're rooted in racism. They're rooted in the assassination of young black people fighting for their rights. Welcome to America. Because of the movies that are coming out and because of the mass media, now white people and other people of color and other people that are here in America are starting to see another side of like the black experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's George Floyd, God rest his soul, or a movie like the Judas and the Black Messiah. You know, the story of the late great Fred Hampton. I've always admired Fred Hampton.
Look what they did to him.
If you look at it, the Black Panthers was a college organization. It was founded. Right. It was founded on a university.
Yep.
These people upheld the law and they policed their neighborhoods without racism.
Right.
Right. So where black people are struggling and getting beat up by cops and guns and stuff planted on them and getting murdered and things like that, that wasn't so easy to do when you had armed militia that was trained.
Armed legal militia
that was trained that basically scared all the drug dealers, pimps, and thugs. Like, it was a time in Black America where Black Americans knew that, you know, it's always been dangerous for us to call the police, so we're subjected to more crime. And
then look what they did. They got rid of the Panthers. They flooded the fucking streets with dope.
So what happened is, like, the Panthers used to keep drug dealers out of the neighborhood. Yep. The Panthers used to keep, you know, if a black dude got drunk and hit his wife,
she wouldn't
call the Panther, the police.
She would call
the Panthers,
right?
And they would check that dude. They would put him in his place, make him leave if
that's
was necessary.
What real street hood politics were back in the day.
That's what real humans do for their community and their neighborhood.
Hood politics.
No,
neighborhood.
Because non-hood stuff. It's funny. It's more. We know where all the rich people live. Why is crime so low there? How come rich people in the richest neighborhoods can go to sleep with their doors unlocked?
Their hood politics
Because
is different.
no, because people understand. Like you can shit on the hood.
Right.
They give it. No, it was a project, right? We talked about that. You can shit on that. If you're in these confines, you're not really a person here, like right.
Right.
We
You're
can
second
shit
class
on you.
citizen still
No
because
matter
you
what
live
your
in the
color is,
worst
if you
fucking
live in
place
these
that you can.
confines, we can treat you a certain way.
Yeah.
What happens when you have a pandemic is it cuts across economic lines. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's people that's rich as hell that's just as bored as we are.
Yeah.
It's people that's rich as
Took
hell.
a financial hit
Shit.
that
It's
hurt
like,
them,
and if
made them think they was going to kill themselves.
If you're a person that likes to go out and party and stuff, you rich. But now you just
you
in the
can't
house
do
with a
none
few
of that,
friends,
right?
like, and rich people now are honestly realizing how much poor people play a part in their life.
Yeah.
Whether it's the guy at the golf course, the person that gets your car for you, that now he can't get your car for you because he's not at work because
Right.
of COVID, and now you
gotta
go
get your car
shit
yourself. Go to
or the maid and shit that can't come to work.
you don't even
like,
know
what
what floor your car is on.
I got
nigga.
my own family,
or where your
all
cleaning
these type of
supplies
things.
is at.
Right. So it's a lot of shit. And
Right.
that's funny you said that. A lot of the NBA players, LeBron in particular, was complaining. I've seen this video.
He said,
He
I
was-
don't know
he was
none of my
asking his
cleaning
kids
supplies are at.
where like the bowls were.
Right.
They was laughing at him and shit. Like nigga, they was making fun. It was over there. So he would look and it'd be the cups or something.
Right.
Nigga, LeBron ain't been in that kitchen in hella long.
Hella long.
Cause nigga, I'm gone most of the year.
And I'm training
And
when
it's a
I'm
new
off
house.
season.
Like nigga, I don't know where none
Right.
of this shit is. Bronny, where the, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's something to think about. It brought us all to our knees. Some of us was told, hey, you can't come to work. You still got your job. You just can't make no money.
Right.
So it's people that's like, okay, well, I'm not unemployed technically, but I'm unemployed. And there's people that's not used to being unemployed. Nigga, I've been working since I was 13 years old.
Yeah, the
So
motherfuckers
tell
who've
people
always
like,
been working, and you
there's
tell them
people
that
like
they can't do it no
created
more.
That are they on business, and like so it's just like damn, some small businesses aren't set up to thrive in a pandemic.
That's real.
I heard a dude say he's like, man, I own a bowling alley. This shit is way safer than a restaurant. They open all these fucking restaurants. What about me?
Right, yeah, that's
like,
real.
motherfuckers keep to themselves and are already about 6 feet apart, nigga.
Yeah, at a bowling alley, right. All alleys
Nigga,
aren't
we
that
on this
right.
lane, you on this lane.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is mark off this chair, the one that joins us.
Right.
And we already 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
You just can't sit right here on
Right.
each side. Think about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, that's true. They probably didn't have to close the bowling alleys. They sanitized the balls before they, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot. Like, if you really think about it, you're using the same balls.
Nah, you know what? I went bowling during COVID, I think.
Where?
Somewhere in Reno.
Okay, well.
I think the Hilton, actually. I
Each
took
state
the
each
kids
state
and
is
shit,
different.
right? And
Old ass nigga.
I could-
GSR?
fuck.
I feel you, right?
Yeah, the GSR.
Yeah, I feel
The Hilton ain't even that. It'd been funny if I called it the MGM.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it was when I first moved to the North.
Right,
MGM
nigga.
That's crazy.
But nah, it's just if you're like you said, you're still a Republican, you're just woefully ignorant now. Or I can't even say you're ignorant. You're just
Are you
woke.
just clinging to like comfort? Like you've always been Republican, so you just probably aren't paying attention as much and you vote Republican. There's a lot of people that do that. Your mom and dad voted Republican when they first brought you to vote. They told you to vote Republican, and you just been doing this shit your whole life.
Right.
It's gang culture, right? America's fucked up with gang culture through all kinds of shit.
Gang culture is in everything.
It's in everything.
Gang culture is in literally every. Gang culture is in church.
Sure, right. My version of Jesus is better than your version of Jesus, nigga.
You know what's
My version
crazy?
of Allah is better than your
Hey,
version
you
of Allah.
you can equate like a lot of shit in the world to like
Everything gang
not.
culture.
I can't even say to like slave culture, because it's like we argue Democrat or Republican. What are we doing? Arguing who has a better slave master, correct?
Eh,
Yeah. If you think about it.
I don't like to say that, and you know me. This is why, dog. This is just me personally.
I feel
And
like-
anybody that wants to follow me on this, I'm willing to lead. We have to reprioritize the word slavery, because the masses when they say slavery and they use these terminologies loosely, they don't know what our people went through. They don't know the real atrocities. Like if you really made a movie about the shit that really happened during slavery, it wouldn't
But
Hollywood wouldn't let.
Here's why I equate us arguing who's over the better slave master.
Let me finish my point. The reason why I'm saying like the slave master part is tricky is because we just broke it down. Nothing's perfect, fam. But when you look at one side of the aisle and they got gays, transgenders, blacks,
Right.
Asians, Hispanics, whites, females, and then you look at one side and again it's like white male.
Nah, here's
Right?
where I'm
Like-
gonna
like white
here's
male.
where I'm gonna break down.
And then you come through and you look at the party lines and you look at the parties that have gotten certain things passed and have aligned themselves with certain entities. That's far fetched from just saying
Okay,
slavery.
here's
Or the different
here's what I'm going to break down where it equates to different slave masters.
Okay.
You know I don't like old politics. You know I don't really like old white politicians in office either side.
Look
They're
at you.
they're all rooted in old politics. Even as much as Joe Biden's doing good, there's still part of him that is rooted in old politics. The new progressive politics he probably learned was from Obama. Now take Joe Biden out.
When you
Let's
say
go.
old
Let's go.
no,
Let's
that's
go
not
look
fair.
at
Joe Biden has a track
Let's
record
take Joe
before
Biden
Obama.
out of it. I can't even.
Yeah, it was
I can't
pretty
even say
progressive.
Joe Biden. I can't say Joe Biden. Let's say who was an all right Democratic president? Because I
Carter.
can't say it right now.
Jimmy Carter.
So at that point, you're arguing on who was the better slave master. You know what I'm saying? Because both of these sides don't really give a fuck about black people, people of color, or what our agenda is, and they just want our vote to get them in office. That's
Right.
what I mean by that one. We're
Right.
both arguing to get
But-
somebody in office
but a slave
who
master,
really,
Dre,
who really
a
is going to
slave
just
master-
put it on our back
a slave
and still
master-
try to
a
treat
slave
us like a
master
second
wouldn't give a
class
fuck.
citizen.
A slave master wouldn't give a goddamn fuck who
The
you want to be in
government-
office.
The government wouldn't either if
No, I'm just
they
saying. Listen
could
to me.
still.
That's why I'm saying it's not. We gotta say something different because it's like nigga, a
If the
slave
government
master
could still
just the
be
nation,
that
just the
racist, they
notion.
would
No, wait,
be.
listen to me. Just the notion of us being able to pick and choose and having the power. Like you've seen that this year. Like there's power there. Anybody that tells you there's no power in voting is a fucking idiot. Or they simply have never voted before.
right.
Like, but there is power there because if that's the case, nigga, Donald Trump would be the president still. Like, he's facing a fucking federal charge because he tried to cheat the election system.
Right.
So I don't want to hear that no more. That's tired. And you got to check the people and look real hard at the people that try to tell you not to vote. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit does matter.
I'm just saying,
And black people have never gotten anything in this country without voting. Since Lincoln. And I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, I think black people was able to vote for Lincoln too.
right.
I'm not 100% sure. Don't actually fact check me on it. Let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure black people had started voting at that. You know what? I'm a fucking idiot. No, they haven't. No, they weren't. They weren't voting at all. I apologize to all my ancestors. I know better. But yeah, man, like, still. So since you got to go back to like Abe Lincoln, to where there was a white man that did something that black people benefited from, you know what I'm saying, politically like that, without being pushed to do it. Like, you know, people will say, you know, President Johnson and stuff like that, but we know how he really felt about black
we
people.
know how
that,
Lyndon
like,
Johnson really felt.
you know, we know exactly. That was a position of where black people had finally yielded enough political power and pressure, and enough white allies
Right.
to force that hand of giving us our right to vote. You know what I mean? Or passing the civil rights legislation.
Right.
So they've always been trying to disenfranchise black voters. You see, they had threw up like 160 new bill proposals right after Georgia turned Democrat. Like,
Yeah, because they need
they know that's
them to
their
be red
stronghold.
again. If
Like,
they don't
know
get that red
California,
again, it's
New York,
over.
certain places like that, Michigan, they know we might not win there.
Right.
But when they get to like the South, like Texas and
They feel like that's supposed to be
their
guaranteed,
stronghold.
right?
Once they lose that, they're gonna have like places like what, Iowa,
Right.
Delaware. That ain't enough to turn the election.
And
Y'all
you
can
weren't
have that.
gonna get Delaware
No.
over. Biden won Delaware, didn't he?
He's from there.
That's what I mean. You weren't
Yeah.
gonna win Delaware over Biden this year. He's the fucking senator there.
For like
For
50
hell,
years.
yeah, right.
Like, this motherfucker
He
that
wins
like,
every election.
Like, oh, my mom and dad voted for you when they first was able to vote.
Right, nigga.
You're the first person my mom and dad voted for. You're gonna be the first person I vote for. Like, he
Right.
one of them niggas. Like, he been
exactly
in the game
for
a long
hella
time.
long.
That's why it wasn't to me. I feel
Oh,
like if
do you
you
know
done
what?
anything long enough,
You know what I can
like,
say
you
about?
critique it.
You know what I can say about Biden? He's sticking so far
To what he ran on.
to what the fuck he ran on.
You know what I can
He's
add on
he's
to Biden?
sticking to all reform.
Bro,
He's sticking to making
listen to
sure
me.
this pandemic is gonna
personally
fucking
think
go
that,
away.
Like Joe Biden isn't a sexy politician.
No,
He's not a guy that wows you or in an oratory.
but I'd rather you not be a sexy wowing person and do what the fuck you say you're
He's
gonna do.
He's a blue collar guy. Like, just until he became vice president, the motherfucker was still taking the same train he took ever since he was a young man, nigga, like his 30s and shit, to work to DC every day. Because he goes home. Because if you go home, that means you're paying less money, using less money of your constituents, taxpayers, to house you. Nigga, I'm a U.S. senator. I have $1 million home. I'm gonna go home.
Right.
I'm gonna work and get on this train and go home. A lot of them motherfuckers use DC as their personal playpen. That's why they don't want to give them stateship,
Right.
statehood. You know what I mean?
But no, that's one thing I can say about him. The Democrats didn't.
He's been doing what he said.
They
he was gonna
didn't
do,
just harbor our vote and then not give a fuck about us when it came time.
And the cool thing about America, the beauty about it, so far.
That's all I said so far. Like,
no, I know. I'm just saying, as a culture, I'm speaking to the
Right.
people. We don't have to be married to a politician or a political party.
Not at all.
But whichever party we are married to needs to be working for us, needs to keep us in mind when they pass these bills and give out some of these motherfucking dividends and shit like that. That we need to be included in those conversations. I'm just talking.
And so far we have been.
Culturally.
So far Kamala has made sure, because I guarantee it's a lot her.
Hey, but the thing
has
is,
made sure we're at this
America
table.
has gotten so fucked up that it can't even be separated by culture no more.
Right.
So it's just like, man, yeah, it's cool. She's a black woman. Hold us down. Make us proud. Do what you can. Right? Push the envelope. America knows what it owes black Americans, and every American in America knows what America owes black Americans. And if you don't, that's a you problem. That's not a us problem. You don't have to understand this. And to give the Negro community what it's owed has nothing to do with any other culture or community. It doesn't take away from them. All it does is add to the fabric of America. All you will be doing is lifting one culture and community that's been forced into poverty for hundreds of years out of poverty, and then the whole country grows from it. The good thing about us is we share everything that we add to this nation.
Think about how much stimulation that would cause to the economy when we account for, what was the percentage of spending retail? The black percentage?
It's like 80 or some stupid shit like that.
So
70,
if
80%.
you put us on the level playing field like we've always been talking about, what do you think that 80% is gonna go down? No. Nigga, we're gonna go buy more shit. And we're gonna stimulate more economies.
Shit. What we're gonna do is
we're gonna make sure that everybody in our family eats. The next family's gonna do the same thing.
What we'll also
so it's
do
just,
naturally is create our own economy.
Right.
And see, that's the thing, right? It's like it's so many non-black people that literally feed their tribe, if you will. They feed their culture
off ours,
off of
us.
Like, and if you just think about that, like when you start talking like that, you start sounding anti-Semitic.
Right.
You start sounding like pro-black. You start sounding like all these.
I'm very pro-black, and
I'm listening. All these flash words that they throw out in society to make you feel bad about standing up for yourself.
Right.
And people that look like you and saying, "Hey, wait, if this is the way the game is played, then why aren't we playing it the same way they're playing it?" Right? But then you sound like a separatist because in black culture, it's naturally to be like, "Yo, the white dude, he do what we do."
It's like we're playing.
Bring him over here.
We're playing It's like we're playing basketball, even though we're way more athletic. We're playing basketball with a half-inflated basketball.
Right.
While on their possession, they have a inflated basketball.
Okay. Yeah, I could rock with that.
Because you're a hooper. How hard is it to bounce a half-inflated basketball?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's just one of those things that like
level the playing field.
It has to become a cultural awakening. One of the things I predict about America is that as black people are liberated, poor white people will become more liberated as well.
Right.
And if you look at the struggles of America, and what I mean by that is the fight for like certain rights for certain people, certain non-white people. Black people have always been in the forefront of that. Women have gotten a lot of rights based on the civil rights movement and things that black people fought
Homosexuals
for.
the same way.
Homosexual community, trans community, right? And then when you start talking about median minorities like your Asian and Indian communities that move over, they're less subjected to certain things that our ancestors and some of us still go through.
Right.
Like, and so therefore, like, sometimes as a black person, you can feel like it's all on your back. And even in that, one thing I'm proud about our culture is that I feel like we're genuinely not a racist culture. Like, we're accepting of all races. We spend money,
but and that's
race.
where what's crazy.
Some of that is by design.
Do you know what's crazy is like that's what
that we're used to
I think.
doing
That's what we mean as black
people
by a black person really cannot be racist because we are so inclusive.
Well, I don't want to break it down to the individual because we know individuals could be fucked up, right?
Right.
So there could be a black person out there that has, brung up.
Right.
But if you look at history, if you look at black people's history just in this country alone, let alone the rest of the world,
right,
you can see where there could be logical explanations for disdain for other.
No, that's real, yeah.
Well,
but for the most part,
because the thing
we don't exclude,
right, and we don't exclude
because you know what it is. We know what it feels like to be excluded.
We don't exclude, and we don't really like. What would be the opposite of exclude?
Include.
So right, so we don't exclude, but we definitely we're known for like inclusion.
Yeah.
Right. So no matter if it's jazz, rock and roll,
if you're
soul
if
music,
you're a dope rapper, or look at John B. Sing his ass off, niggas.
Look at Adele. You know if you're talented,
we fuck with you.
And black people
we'll
like what
CD
you're presenting.
In the car,
you don't have to worry about because you're white.
Right.
Nobody
You'll be rejected.
A lot of the white rappers that you know of that be like, oh man, I'm nice, but nobody fucks with me because I'm white. You just look at them and be like, no, it's because you're not that nice.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Like, you don't have to be cool. Eminem never dress fly. Nobody ever said,
nobody ever said, like, listen to me.
I'm just saying, nobody ever said, yo, I want to go dress like MC Serch, or I want to dress like Eminem or Vanilla Ice or any shit like that.
No.
But whatever it was, like whatever you brought to the culture,
right?
You brought that, and it was accepted. You didn't have to worry about people firebombing your house.
Hey, that's crazy.
You didn't have to worry about people threatening your kids and burning shit at your house. Doing all this wild shit.
It's crazy that like you said it on like a deeper level. It's like white rappers and shit never brought any type of style or flash to the party, but they brought talent.
And so they were included.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Now,
there's nothing. But I'm saying they never embodied the whole.
The dynamic.
You know what I'm saying?
Is important. That's what it speaks to what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Here you have a people that have always systematically been shut out.
Right.
So they've always had to create their own.
Mm-hmm.
Once they create their own, the people that shut them out always wanted to take from, borrow from, or be a part of it, and they let them.
Always.
Right. They let them. Name the white artist that got murdered for doing black music.
I can't think of one.
That got cheated out of their royalties for doing black music. That got robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that.
That's a stupid question because there isn't one.
And that's my point. So what happens is like when you have a culture that's like that, right? That inclusion. Hey man, it only rubs off, right? So now you might have an Asian group of people here that become more inclusive. Like, hey,
right.
Man, like I like hip hop music. Let me show you what I do. This is a little something about my culture, right? Hip hop is that on a bigger scale.
Because look at how much
now
look at how much
infusion of different races.
Look how much the Asian community and culture fuck with Wu-Tang Clan because they mixed ancient Shaolin shit
right. And
with their rhymes.
If you study the Wu knew their history. They were all 5%ers.
Right.
So they knew about the African. Mm-hmm. They knew about the African influence on martial arts as well. That's why they were so comfortable with it. Like,
right.
we're not worried. I'm not worried about offending nobody. We don't give a damn about if Asian people are okay with this.
And they were,
our shit too.
And Asians were never offended.
And Asian people rock with that.
They're like, we love that shit.
And they respect it. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's just the power of the culture of hip hop in that little story.
Well, because think about when
you go to let's go to the Spanish section.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a lot of Spanish rappers that don't do nothing but rap Spanish.
Yeah.
Right? How those people You're not gonna be racist towards black people, nigga. Like this is our culture.
Yeah.
It's just another wing of our culture. You borrow from our culture and went there with.
Yeah, because reggaeton is built off of fucking.
There's a big black
Caribbean music, which is black people.
Black people,
right?
Like freed slaves. You got the African influx in certain part of Spanish culture, so it dwindles there. That brings me back to the America that we are today, where it's just like, yo, this so-called Republican Party of today's time. Go look at them. Who do they represent? They don't represent no Americans. Like, it's not that the Democrats are just godsend, but they are more a representation of the us, average day, everyday people. They look like us. Look, in 2021, you have a female that's a boss. That's your boss. You have to be respectful when she comes around. You got to treat her like a boss.
Owners, all types.
You got
a
gay boss too. You don't make gay jokes when he comes around. That's your motherfucking boss. You can get fired.
Yeah.
Right? You got a black boss. You got a white boss. You got a white woman boss. You got a black female boss. You got a Indian boss. You got a boss that's Asian. Like you got
a white.
If you live
Indian,
in America,
hold on. You got a white, Indian, Asian, or black doctor.
If you live in America, you know what I'm saying? Right? If you live in America, I'm just saying, like, if you live in America and you work and you dealing in the thing is, look, man, I'm not gonna say anybody's a real or fake American. That's ignorant to me. But there are certain different fragments. If you live in a city that's swayed, where like the minority population is under 14% combined,
right?
Then yeah, you're still in like a very much of a white utopia. So you might not get these different little things, right? Or you might not understand these microaggressions that happen in society every day. But if you live in Chicago, Baltimore, the Bay Area, LA, New York, like there's racism is a thing that's a part of our history. Like we're dealing with humans, so you're gonna have those biases,
right?
But when you're talking to people in certain cities, they're dealing with more systemic racism because it doesn't behoove a skinhead or a neo-Nazi to go down any street in Brooklyn talking that white power shit.
Right.
You get your ass towed up there
fast.
But now if you're in a city where like
Firmly.
all the minorities are under 15-20%,
right,
you might have some of that, right? It's just common like humanality. Like,
well, look at how progressive Oregon is, and Oregon still has a big KKK chapter in its backwoods
Oregon has
area.
It has a very strong racist past.
Right.
Like a lot of racist fucked up shit happened to black people in Oregon a long time ago. So, but the thing is, if you look at the progression of the city, like you said, I would move to Oregon right now.
No, I would too. But there's just certain places we shouldn't go in Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Because I forgot where it was. My brother said they were on tour.
I was in Pendleton, Oregon once, where Nike was created at. It's a small town, and it wasn't a black person in sight. But like we were at a Nike hosted tournament, and it was teams from all over the country there. So it was a lot of black kids.
Wherever
and it was love.
Wherever my brother was at,
right.
The store clerk locked them in the store. And my brother was like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, it's a Klan rally walking down the street right now. I'm making sure nothing happens to y'all.
Okay, we're getting.
I forgot where they were at. They were passing through Oregon. You know what I'm saying?
That's the beauty of our country.
And the dude was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna let y'all get hurt."
My thing
Klan is walking through,
and shout out to him. But like the Klan, they get a chance to march too.
Yeah,
that's what America is, and it's just about understanding that. The thing is when you have Klansmen that are judges, Klansmen that are police officers, and that's something that
you can't give them.
That's something that America didn't vet for.
That.
I'm hearing FBI official, after CIA official, Capitol Police official, they're all admitting on national TV that like, yeah, this is something that we have been pushing for a while, but the powers that be had not taken this seriously. They were going after people like the Moors, you know what I'm saying? The black dudes that be in inner cities with dreads and shit, nigga, telling you that you're a god.
Right.
They had them on the list. They ain't hurt or killed nobody.
No.
But that just goes back to like the Anti-Defamation League. Like you have like things like the Nation of Islam listed as a hate group.
Yeah. But KKK isn't.
KKK isn't. Like what are we talking about? Like how are they not gang number one? And it just tells you, like, we talk about the Panthers, the organization that they was. These were organized people, intelligent people, disciplined people. they got them the fuck up out of here, fam.
Fast.
You telling me that the most unorganized gangs, like niggas like Crips, Bloods, and shit like that, where
still around.
There's so many different sets, there's so many different bosses,
right?
They all over the place. Some niggas, them ain't real Crips, them ain't real Bloods. Like they be talking all that shit with each other. They bang with each other. You telling me that them motherfuckers are still running around after generation after generation, and y'all got rid of the Panthers?
Yeah, because the Crips and Bloods,
it'd be way easier to get rid of them.
They help the killing of black people. Of course, they're not going to get rid of them. Of course, they're not going to get rid of the organization that destroys black people, and they get rid of the one that's made to uplift.
I'm still not over America funding a war by poisoning black communities with crack. Like, we don't frame it like that enough, fam. When we talk about the crack era, we still put all the weight on those women that got abused and addicted to crack. We still put all the weight on those men that got abused and addicted to crack, whether they were selling or using.
When most no drug dealer,
we never talk about the fact that, like, damn, that's fucked up how America did black.
Like, because here's the thing:
what did America do to you? You weren't born a slave. Like, motherfucker, I was born in the crack era.
Here's the crazy thing too: is when it comes to cocaine and crack, we couldn't fly to Medellin, Colombia, and go pick up bricks. You could do it with heroin and shit only during Vietnam when there was war and somebody could plug you in. That's how Frank Lucas, look what he had to go through. He was going to have to piece it up until he found somebody to take him to the source.
Before Frank Lucas, fam.
But here's what I'm
doing. I get what you're saying.
No, but I'm talking about the Kill the Messenger is like the same,
I get the point
same time. But here's what I'm saying. Nobody on the West Coast where this shit.
Before that.
Yeah, Frank was before. But I'm saying no drug dealer who was pushing crack, American drug dealer pushing crack, was going to fucking Colombia to get coke and flood his fucking whole city with it. It had to be some government shit.
That's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
We have documentation or proof of that.
Exactly. So I'm just like, niggas wasn't flying.
There were black American and Latino American drug dealers that had gotten connected from the neighborhood and rose up the ranks. And yeah, nigga, they do get to go to the warehouse meetings to have the politicians and the diplomats and all these other people.
But what I'm talking about is 90% of those drug dealers didn't have that pass.
But this is how
they serve drugs.
See, the thing is, though, this is what they do, man. Like, this is what they did. You had South Americans and sometimes even people in like Asia,
right?
Different drug cartels and stuff like that, and different drug families and triads and shit like that had became in partnership with the Reagan administration, and was given the green light
to flood
our
drugs.
Communities. Now, what do? You got to send a scout. That's who Lulu is and paid in full.
Yeah.
What the fuck
exactly.
You think that rich ass motherfucker
is living in that project building, right?
In Harlem, around all those black people. That ain't the way what he was doing. He was there to scout, and guess what? He found one he liked. Like, bro, because his
supplier and shit was across town in the Spanish area. Nigga, he wasn't in that. It was a plant.
They were foreigners,
right?
They weren't from America.
Yeah, he was a plant for sure.
So he was a scout. Nigga, you send that nigga Lulu in. Lulu gonna find one of them little black kids that know everybody. Usually an ex-ball player, somebody popular or something like that, right? That got a talent. Everybody like this dude. Hey, man, come talk to me. You know who I am? Yeah, I'm the guy that lives over here, man. You're a good kid. Take this. Go get a drink, man. Go buy yourself something nice. So, what? Word? Yeah, man, you're a good kid. You go do that. Next time he see you, boom. And you see how he did it? Nigga, that's real facts, nigga. Like, now I'm giving you, nigga, a whole half a key.
Yeah.
Hey, man, just go see what you can do with that.
Exactly.
It's a scout. I don't want no money back. I ain't telling you how much to sell it for. Nigga, just go see what you can do with that. And he come back with a little bit of bread like, yo, man, thanks, man. Here. No, you keep
Here's
that.
the whole thing.
This is what we going to do. Let me show you how to do this now.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, I'm from that era. I got cousins that seen millions of dollars.
Right.
I dropped out of high school. Yeah, they dropped out of high school. Yeah, I'm doing it. So, like, I seen how they took, like, nigga, you from Detroit. You know, like, black thriving cities. We talk about one half of this. The drugs is coming in.
Right.
Oh, but these are Dr. King and Martin Luther and Malcolm X's kids.
Yeah.
Right? So what you got to do is, nigga, you got to stop those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get rid of all that Motown shit, nigga, and all that thriving Detroit.
All that Motor City, all them cars.
Send those jobs overseas.
And tear it down.
If none of the white suburban areas want a plant in their area because they feel like it'll bring their property down because of the ecosystem and all that, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just send those jobs to India. Send those jobs
Right.
to Russia. Send those jobs to, you know what I'm saying? So now these black areas that were thriving on blue collar jobs, union jobs,
Everything's gone now.
they all got their little buyout from General Motors and shit like that, and then you're fending for yourself now. It ain't nothing but minimum wage around these parks, right?
If that.
Unless you have an education that allows you to ascend higher, but you still got that poverty on your back. You still got family members that are stuck in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you get a leg up, they might need something, right? It's a fucked up game. But what happens is, this is where Fred Hampton was so important. Fred figured it out. He figured it out. See, they had the wool over everybody's eyes until
Right.
Fred got there. When Huey and everybody was, yeah, man, it's a black versus white thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fred was going to Klan rallies, fam. Showing up with Panthers, y'all ain't gonna do shit, nigga, or we'll shoot it out in this bitch.
Fat, right,
Right?
exactly.
So he
Shoot
pulling
it
up,
all the way
they
out
looking at
this
him
bitch.
like, what the fuck is this nigga
Air
doing
this
in here?
bitch out.
What is he doing in here, right? But then he breaks down the facts. He will go give him the math, like, yo, it ain't us that y'all got a problem with. It's the elite.
Right.
They're the ones that's taking your jobs and sending it over here. You see our ghettos is fucked up, right?
Right, yeah, we ain't getting
And
those
so is y'all
jobs.
trailer parks, right?
Right.
So like this is before this whole idea of the middle class was even like a thing. It's just rich and poor, just like it's starting to become now.
Right.
So when you start looking at like a person that's in his 20s that is powerful enough to lead a chapter of the Black Panthers in the rough city of Chicago, yet he's in Indiana and Kansas and shit, organizing with so-called skinhead racist organizations,
Yeah.
and they're planning to do social events and marches, and they're educating the people. Like,
Right.
no, we need to just go vote and vote for this dude because he really is talking the shit that's going to be good for all of us. And hey, this dude is going to run, and we need to get this lady. So that's when the government was like, yo, we got to go murder this kid.
Killed, yeah.
We have to go murder this kid because not only is he riling up the black community, and to have the Panthers around fucks up the dope game.
Oh yeah, because they're
And
not gonna let you sell
They
dope.
seen that in the heroin era.
Right.
How certain cities and shit like Oakland now was thriving in the drug game, but then the Panthers come out and then it was just like, not over here.
Yeah.
And they blame the Panthers for a lot of the drugs going out of the neighborhood because those hustlers wasn't gonna stop hustling.
Nah, it's
Instead
gonna move it to
of the
somewhere else.
suburban kids coming from the hood to get it, you can't come over here. The Panthers is tripping. I'll meet you downtown.
Yep.
Now the
Now
shit starts spilling
downtown
over in
fucked
their
up.
neighborhood.
Right.
Now it's fucking up the city property and value, and downtowns was fucked up all across America in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
Cleveland just got popping when they drafted LeBron. They downtown
Yeah, they
was
downtown
ghost.
was fucked up.
They
nigga.
downtown was ghost. They got new skyscrapers and all that because they drafted Bron. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things, dog. Like, it's just interesting. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's interesting in the times we are now because I'm looking at how like they treat the epidemic of the opioid crisis, and I'm seeing how millions of dollars is going to funding to eradicate that. I'm seeing how they killed the source. Oh, it's doctors that's prescribing this shit to the hustlers that's giving it to the people on the street.
Yeah.
They start putting doctors in jail left and right. You've never seen the cartel leader or the the mafia boss. Like, nobody ever got punished for poisoning our community with drugs. Ronald Reagan is still held as one of the greatest presidents. They never bring up the fact that this nigga poisoned every black community in America.
Everybody loved him and Mrs.
I used to argue with my fucking teacher in high school because she used to try to make me praise him.
Right.
I was like, bitch, you crazy. Like,
Oh,
no, I know
fuck
my
with
history.
fuck
I
him.
just, that's the reason why I live here.
Right.
I'm from Brooklyn, nigga.
From the
Fuck you
crack
think I'm in
era,
Reno
bitch.
for? Because my whole neighborhood is consumed with crack and crack dealers. Bitch.
Crack
That's why I
bios,
live
all
here
types
right now.
of shit.
You're not going to tell me. Like, I know. You know what I mean? I'm seeing it. And so it's just one of those things, though. Like, I feel like through culture, mainly hip-hop culture, I feel like through hip-hop culture, because it derives around the thing called the spoken word, which is the most powerful element that I think that God gave us. I really believe that, like, that shit, you know, it took off. We know the history, like, all over the world, right? But hip hop is like the glue or the microphone that connected everybody when George Floyd got murdered by the police officer.
Right.
It wasn't that like that shocked everybody. It was just that the right circumstances, the right timing, where it's like, yo, this hip hop shit right now is connected the world in a way through the internet, also on social media, to where it's just like everybody got their cue from Minnesota. Minnesota went ape shit. Everybody else went in the country followed. And then next thing you know, places I never even heard of. You seen motherfuckers doing Black Lives Matter. I've seen countries, everybody out there was white.
Yeah.
And they was doing Black Lives Matter shit, tearing shit up. You know what I mean? I didn't realize all the slave owner monuments in Europe. I didn't realize that they had this shit all over in New Zealand and Australia. You know what I mean?
Australia's still mad racist when
So-
it comes to between them and New Zealanders and shit.
So I'm just saying, like, in terms of like how black people are treated all over the world,
Right.
and then it's another thing that it teaches you, and it's something that you learn if you come into knowledge yourself. But we're everywhere. We're a unique race of people that are connected. We can go to any nation and find a group of find black people.
Right.
Like there's a thing like here in America, they're always telling you that you're a minority,
Mm-hmm.
but you're a majority of the globe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like when you start thinking about things that connect us all, it's something about that African drum, nigga. That I don't give a fuck what nation you've been indoctrinated in, what music they've pushed on you, what culture. When you hear that African drum, that boom bap, it call you home, so to speak.
Right.
And so it's just like, man, you know it. You travel, you seen it. Like, it's hip hop fans everywhere. One of America's largest exports, right? And then in my mind, and I'm not trying to make this leap, but I'm gonna go there with it. Follow me, fam. I really think that when I look at the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry shit, that's hip hop, nigga.
Right.
I think that's hip hop. Cause they already showed Harry, like, before he got married, he would be out here in Vegas in the clubs and shit, be in New York in the clubs, be at certain rap concerts and shit. He was affected by the culture.
Mm-hmm.
His mother's a people person, one of the more famous persons of our time, Princess Diana, God bless her soul. And what I'm talking about is somebody that is infected by a inclusive culture, right? When they come from such exclusion, it's something that happens, man, and like it makes them rebel. A lot of people believe that kind of spirit